it's Tristan here from Zebra Invest, and today I'm going through modern method of auctions and what the auction houses don't want you to know. So I'm going to run through what they are, what opportunities are sitting out there that are fantastic deals out there that you could be getting your hands on, and deals that I've done myself, who would be using them, why they'd be using them, and how you can benefit, and finally how you can really easily find them and search through them. I'll even give you a demo at the end. So what is a modern method of auction? Well, the whole idea is that it's like an auction. Is a property goes to auction, sells, and then the idea is that you're going to be committed to buy it within a certain time frame. A typical auction, you turn up, the gavel goes down, and then within 28 days you need to purchase that property. In this case, it's typically 56 days. And how that works is you have 28 days from when you've initially agreed to it, and then 28 days after that's complete. So what does that mean? So the idea is when you agree to buy one of these properties, modern method of auction property, you will pay a reservation fee. That'll be written into their description, and it will tell you just how much that is. There'll be a minimum fee, and then you're going to pay that up front. And when you pay that fee, effectively you get an option on that property. So you've committed to buy that property. If it then doesn't go through, you will lose your reservation fee. The next bit is at 28 days time, that's when you need to exchange. So the idea is you exchange on that property, whereas an auction, the gavel goes down and you have exchanged. So then you've got another 28 days to complete. But the thing a lot of people forget about is that you do actually then have the notice to complete period. Something not that I'd want to get into, but you can then be given another usually 2 weeks worth of notice to then be forced to complete on that deal. You will have to pay interest over that period. But usually you'll find that there's an auction pack, so you can jump in that, go through and get a whole load of detail in there. But these modern method of auction do tend to put a lot of buyers out there off. People think, oh, it's not going to be a good deal, it's a bit too complicated, and it's not what I like. But this is what means there are good opportunities out there. So when you're looking for opportunities, you've got to think who is going to be selling at auction. There's typically someone who's motivated, and the reason they're motivated to sell it is they need to sell that property. If they were happy to get the best price in the market, they'd be putting it on with a normal agent, you'd advertise, and you would wait the time for that property to come through and for a profit offer to come at the right level. They've typically got a time frame and they need to get that revolving out the door. And agents, though, when they agree these with those people who are selling, they typically have a 3-month secure window in which they need to sell that property. So at any time between them putting it on as a modern method of auction and the next 3 months, it's going to have to sell that way. And if you are struggling to sell your property, or you do need it sold, then this is where suddenly there does become a little bit of an opportunity for those people looking to buy. And then you can also, people seem to forget with these type of properties, you can offer to buy them before they go through, or even after the auction's kind of stopped, as long as there isn't a bidder there. So you might be able to offer below the asking price or below the guide price. And if they haven't got anyone else there, the chances are they're going to consider it. They might tell you to get lost, but it could be a good way to do it. But as I said, there's no actual reason that you need to bid. So why would anyone enter their property into these? Well, look, for them as a seller, there is no fees for selling at a modern method of auction. They don't have to pay a thing. But there are hidden fees, really, because the person bidding tends to actually reduce the price that they're looking to pay by the actual extra fee that you're having to do. It's the same as if with like stamp duty. With the highest rate of stamp duty, you simply reduce the amount you're willing to offer to pay for that property, whilst making sure the deal still stacks and works for you as an investor. It gives certainty for the person who's selling the property, but the estate agents will generally tend to push this towards the sellers and give it an offer. It's like, look, well, why don't you try doing it this way? Because it means they aren't having to charge the seller a fee, and it makes it seem a little bit nicer. But the bit that the auction houses don't want you to know is actually both the agent and the auction house own the fee. So what does that mean? That means that the person in front of you is going to get, or not the person, the company who they're working for is going to get half of that sales fee, as well as the auction house. So they really try to push and help get people into these modern method of auctions because it knows both sides of them are going to be better for them. You can even see there's some people online who do like sell my house cheap or sell it for free, and they're using something like this. But how can you benefit? Well, as I've already said, this really puts buyers off. A lot of buyers don't understand how it works, how much time that it's got to purchase or anything else like that. But for you, the educated person, even just listening after this video, I'm hoping you can action this. It gives you time to purchase. It means you can get anything you need to get sorted all the way going through. If there's any questions in the legal packs you need to get sorted, anything about tenants that are hiding in the background, but you could also use a mortgage, you can get your searches, everything else can all get sorted in that time before it completes. It gives you more time and more flexibility and more ability to actually get these deals across the line. So when you can find them, they can be really good. And you can also sometimes change the terms and alter them terms to suit you. For example, I bought a flat in London, just near Stratford actually. And what we did was we turned and said it was a short lease flat, and we agreed that the seller would sign a Section 42 lease extension notice to us as the buyers. This meant on buying the property, we could extend the lease and we could increase the property's value. And that's not something they were willing to do before. So there's other opportunities there. So now the bit that I said at the very beginning is that how can you find these deals? Well, you can call up local estate agents. You could ask them, do you have any of these types of properties going? They might have them, they might not, but there's a couple of ways to do it. One of the simplest ways is heading onto Zoopla. So I'm just going to turn and put in Norfolk, because my little patch. And the whole idea here is rather than looking for lots of different platforms, because you could go to say, I am sold, or you could go to, I'm trying to think, go to market. There's quite a few places that do it. But what you can do here is if you go into filters, scroll to the bottom here and just put in your keyword, you're going to put in you're going to put in the speech marks, and you're going to put in modern method. Just simply type that in there, and you're going to get the result. And in doing that, that's going to put up all the properties in your area that are now up for sale using auction or modern method of auction. And here you go, for example, jumping straight in here to this 3-bedroom terraced house in Deptford. It's you can see I've already got property data just popping on the slide. They give me a little information, but we've got £130,000 for a 3-bedroom house. As we come down here, it will give you a little bit of detail. So modern method of auction, and that's the keyword that's matched there. And as you come down here, it tells you the details. So here you've got 4.5% of the purchase price, or a minimum of £6,600 to play. There might be a reservation agreement or any of the searches or anything else you're going to have to commit to in there. But if you are looking at buying one of these, I would still make sure you get your solicitor to check the pack. But you can make those offers and offer to buy it before it goes and the hammer goes down. So really hope this video all about modern method of auctions has been really useful. You like the video, and you've subscribed to my channel if you haven't already, and drop a comment in the below if you've got any questions. Cheers guys, thank you very much for watching.